How to overcome the fear of selling. The impact that psychological factors have on salesman success. The success of a salesperson is not only determined by their ability to sell the product, but also by their psychological state. Salespeople are prone to stress and depression, which can affect the quality of their work. This can lead to lower sales and a higher turnover rate. Salesman psychology is an important factor that must be considered when hiring new employees or training current employees. It is important for companies to offer support services that help reduce stressors in order for them to be successful in the industry. Fear factors and how they affect your sales performance. It is important to understand your own fears, as a salesperson, and how they affect your performance so that you can take steps to overcome them. The top 5 reasons why people are afraid to sell are: 1. Fear of rejection. 2. Fear of being judged. 3. Fear of failure. 4. Fear of success. 5. Fear of the unknown. There are many factors that come to mind in considering the cause of these fears. For instance, 1. Lack of experience. 2. Lack of confidence. 3. Self-sabotage. 4. Lack of competence. 5. A competitive work culture. 6. Not being prepared. 7. The unknown factor when dealing with customers and clients. Let's address these 5 fears individually and look at overcoming these fears. 1. Fear of rejection is common, and not only in the business world but in our personal lives as well. Anyone who has ever been rejected by a love interest knows all too well that unpleasant feeling. It is such a debilitating emotion to carry around that many of us will avoid it by never putting ourselves in the position to ever be rejected again. But this is a mistake. Undergoing struggles, like rejection, is what gives our lives depth and meaning and makes us stronger. As a salesperson, it is imperative that you believe in the necessity of your product or service to the point that you just know that your potential customer will thank you in the future for being so persistent. Imagine that you were a tire salesman and knew that, for whatever reason, rubber was about to be hard to get, and for the next year tires would be hard to get and be twice the price they are now. Would you feel bad about trying to sell everyone tires as fast as possible to take advantage of this knowledge? Of course not. Would there be those people who rejected your sales pitch? Yes, but you can feel good about the fact that you tried to warn them, and you could walk away with a clear conscience, and there's no reason to fear that. 2. Fear of being judged is very common in these days of political correctness. What most people don't seem to take into consideration is the fact that one of the reasons for human beings' ability to stay on top of the food chain is our inherent ability to be judgmental. We judge everything all day and hardly even think about it. Like, can I beat that car through this intersection? Or, should I hand my debit card to this sketchy-looking server? Or, should I trust this salesperson to give me a good deal? Instead of fearing judgment, try instead embracing judgment. Even more, go out of your way to encourage others to judge you. You do this by being someone who isn't ashamed of what they are doing or why they are doing it, plain and simple. Be open, honest about your intentions, and proud that you are doing the job you are doing. You'll find, once you have very little to apologize for, or to hide from anyone, the less you'll care about being judged. 3. Fear of failure can manifest itself in many forms, but the ugliest is the behavior a salesperson exhibits by just not trying in order to avoid a perceived failure. The inventor Thomas Edison said when asked about his failures when trying to invent a light bulb, "I've not failed 10,000 times, but found 10,000 ways not to make a light bulb." Simply put, your perceived failure is just your own state of mind. To get past this, think about what exactly is it you feel constitutes a failure. Not getting the sale? Not making the commission? Not making your quota? Or not helping the customer? It may sound a bit mystical, but the only one of these things that actually matters is helping the client or customer. If you were genuinely helpful to them, then eventually they will buy something from you and possibly tell their friends and family about you too. 4. Fear of success is about anticipating how other people will react to your success. It's been referred to as success anxiety or success phobia. It's associated with a negative impact on overall life satisfaction. In order to fight against this problem, you have to look at the big picture and see the benefits that can come with reaching your goals while making a positive impact on the lives of others. In order to get a handle on this type of anxiety, perspective is key. 5. Fear of the unknown is closely related to a fear of change, where a person seems to fear the lack of predictability or control they usually feel with more familiar surroundings or people. As a salesperson, it is a normal occurrence to be in situations around people, sometimes many at once, that you don't know in an unfamiliar surrounding too. To keep this fear in check, it is helpful if you focus on staying grounded in the moment. Don't make assumptions that can't be justified. When you know ahead of time that you may be put in this unfamiliar situation, do your research to make sure that you are confident in the task at hand and move forward with it. If you have watched the video this long, I request that you like, subscribe, and share this content with others. Thanks. Something that may help anxiety is meditation. Many people have anxiety in their lives, but it can be especially tough for salespeople. It's not uncommon to feel anxious before a big meeting or presentation. But the stress and pressure of being a salesperson can make it even more difficult to manage your feelings of anxiety. You might be asking yourself, what is meditation? Meditation is an ancient method that has been used by people from all walks of life for centuries to achieve peace and clarity in their lives. It's done by sitting in silence and focusing on one thing, usually breathing, to calm the mind and body, which ultimately leads to feeling less anxious about what you're doing throughout the rest of your day. The best time to meditate is in the morning before you start your day. There are many guidebooks and training courses available if you would like to look deeper into the subject, but meditation doesn't really require any special training to be effective in lowering anxiety. Just find a quiet place that is comfortable. You can meditate laying down or sitting, eyes open or closed. Again, the technique isn't as important as the idea of calming the mind and body by focusing on nothing but your breath. Inhale deeply and evenly, and as you do, try to remain as relaxed as possible. Observe your own mind creating thoughts, but remain an observer without attempting to participate in the thought. Just observe what the mind does and continue to focus on breathing. Eventually the mind will quiet down and stop all the worthless chatter. Try to work your way up to 20 minutes of meditation every morning. If you feel like doing more, great. If you can't do 20 minutes, just do what you can. Like many other good habits we build, it may take a while to fully see the benefit of meditation, but stick with it and you may be surprised how much it helps. Conclusion: the best ways to feel confident when you sell in person or online. In conclusion, sales are a two-way street. The best way to be confident when you sell is to have confidence in yourself and your product. A good salesperson needs to be able to read the customer. This is an important skill that many salespeople lack because they are too busy trying to sell themselves and their products. A good salesperson should be able to read the customer's personality and figure out what would make them happy. A good salesman also needs to be able to control his or her emotions. They need to stay calm when the customer gets angry, which is a common occurrence in sales. Confidence is one of the most important traits for any successful salesperson. It is necessary for making a sale, but it can also help you build rapport with your customer and feel more comfortable talking with them about their needs. This concludes the video. I hope it was helpful to those of you who have a fear of selling. I appreciate you viewing my content. Be well and survive.